We know this is wrong. We know it.
And a new generation of Americans have to show up, stand up, speak up, fight, get into good trouble to usher in an era of progress. We went from the progress of emancipation to the backlash of Jim Crow, the progress of the civil rights movement to the backlash of mass incarceration, the progress of electing Barack Obama to the backlash that has resulted in the elevation of Donald Trump, MAGA extremism, and this behavior that we're seeing coming out of the Supreme Court of the United States to throw the American South back into the Jim Crow era. So it's going to take an all-hands-on-deck effort. And
another problem, you know, we make laws to fix problems. We put the Voting Rights Act together because there was an issue, because they were keeping people from voting.
Right.
They were literally shooting people. They were running them down with dogs to keep them from voting. Okay, let's start with that. So when they say that problem is gone, it's not gone. No. Because you're still doing it. You're still doing it. And what I don't understand is what is everybody so afraid of? Because I always thought, I was raised to believe that you and I don't have to agree. That's all right. But now suddenly, your argument doesn't hold water, so you're cheating. See, that we're a two-party system. We're not just Democrats, we're not just Republicans, we're a two-party system. So Ruth Bader Ginsburg said throwing out the preclearance when it worked and is continuing to work to stop discriminatory changes is like throwing away your umbrella in a rainstorm because you're not getting wet.
Yes, Democrats are depressed. After suffering a brutal loss, Hakeem Jeffrey cries about his desperate plan to dismantle the judicial system and rewrite the rules of elections. Now we are going to need nationwide judicial reform. We are going to need nationwide electoral reform. We are going to need nationwide campaign finance reforms. This is actually what this man is saying. At some point, I don't know why these people are like this. For weeks, they were saying they are winning, they are winning, they are winning. Now, it is clearly showing that they are not okay. Looking at this Democrat mouthpiece, he went on CNN. This is what he said.
On in Virginia.
Yeah, so it was a very close referendum. I think a lot closer than the Democrats expected with all that spending that they plowed into it. But the Virginia Supreme Court determined not that the map was illegal, the process of trying to change the Constitution was done illegally. This was an unlawful process. And the Democrats actually insisted that the Supreme Court of Virginia wait until after the referendum to make this decision. That was their position. And now they're complaining and crying about it, saying, well, why didn't you do something before? Because you told us not to. You asked us not to. The justices respond. And I find it interesting to just point out that earlier in the week, there was a Democratic operative who went on his podcast, and he revealed that internally there's been a lot of angry sniping and recriminations within Democratic circles in Virginia because Governor Spanberger's team, remember, she campaigned saying she wasn't going to do this, and it's the first thing that she did. Her team reportedly told the legislature, the Democrats leading the legislature, don't do this. It is going to be susceptible to a legal challenge. We don't think this is going to be legal. And they plowed forward anyway, and they did it illegally, and now they're facing the consequences for it. And they made this mess for themselves, and they deserve this outcome.
I think that the reaction to what happened in Virginia is that it is the perfect encapsulation of the asymmetry between the two sides, where we have independent redistricting commissions in all of the Democratic weapons. And, you know, even when you go to the voters, even when 3 million people show up to vote in a referendum that based on some small technicality, all of those voters' voices are going to be silenced. At the same time that we have Republicans in Florida, in Texas, in North Carolina, possibly South Carolina, Tennessee, all who've just decided by fiat that they're going to redraw their states' maps. I mean, basically ushering in elected legislatures, but redrawing the state maps without a single person weighing in on this stuff, basically ushering in Jim Crow 2.0 in the South. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to a point where we see no black representation in any of these southern states. And so I think it's a wake-up call to Democrats across the country. If you are a Democrat in New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Illinois.
This is a clear explanation to what just happened. Now, when you look at how Democrats are putting it, it is totally different. This guy actually had this to say on CNN.
This is the time to start fighting back and recognize the urgency of this moment right here, because Republicans don't believe that Democrats have a right to exist as a party. And so if we don't start fighting back, and if we don't stop unilaterally disarming, we're basically going to good government ourselves into obscurity.
Caroline, what do you think of this? Is it Jim Crow 2.0?
Well, so you're opposed to this because you think that this dilutes people's political power unfairly? Is that why you're opposed to this?
I think that it dilutes the ability of people in certain jurisdictions to be able to vote for their representatives. Nashville has been cracked into multiple districts. Memphis has been cracked in multiple districts. And so there's no way that those people who live in those jurisdictions can vote for their representatives because the Republicans have purposefully gerrymandered those states to dilute their voting power.
So you're against diluting voting power?
I'm against gerrymandering.
Okay, so do you support then illegal immigrants being allowed to vote in elections?
Illegal immigrants don't vote in federal elections.
Well, illegal are who Democrats want to vote in federal elections.
But that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter if they want. It doesn't matter what.
Yes, this is something I don't know why these people don't like to compete fairly. Taking a look at this, furious Tennessee Democrats are now pushing to succeed Memphis from the state because Republicans finally redraw the maps, and as their last racial gerrymander Democrat seat, one lawmaker went full Moses, let Memphis succeed, let my people go, pick soul losers. The map now matches voter instead of guarantee blue safe seat. They would rather take their fallen city and run than compete fairly. This is beautiful. At some point, if you look at what these people have been doing, it has never been fair. You will take up a location that you know fully well that these are all Democrats, and you put it there, maybe based on skin color, and there is no one there that can actually compete with these people. They will continue to win every single time. If the Supreme Court take a decision to finally put things like this in place, why the murder? They should actually awaken some of these people. They should know that this has happened for a very long time and allow fair competitions. This should be something that everyone should accept. Looking at cackling the view, Whoopi is there saying, oh, they are doing this to black people, they are shooting, they are doing that. You know, when I look at that video, I was like, this is who they are. They will always sound this way.
See those blue? Those are blue districts. This is what it's going to look like now. There are districts that have been carved out so that minorities are represented, for sure. That is racial gerrymandering. It has to happen until we are living in the present, in the future, and we're not. And if you think that you're going to take away all these black representatives in the United States Congress without repercussion?
The system is rigged. Democrats already contend with an anti-democratic bias in the Senate, already contend with an anti-democratic bias in the Electoral College.
This is their new song. The system is rigged. The system is rigged. This guy, this is the same thing he's preaching. If you look at what Hakeem Jeffrey is saying, the same talking point. The system is rigged, so they want to reform everything. You know, if something doesn't favor Democrat, this is how we turn it. They will turn it this way. If you say these kind of things, the opposite decide to say you are spreading conspiracies. That has always been the case. You know, I don't want to make the video long. I think I'm going to end somewhere here. As of the short clips at the end, that is for the white algorithm. You can always skip.
Republicans are in a better shape today than they were yesterday.
Voters narrowly passed that referendum officially here. I think between the Supreme Court ruling and Virginia, we have a situation where pretty much every state is going to be looking at their maps and seeing
Maximum warfare everywhere, all the time, in connection with the redistricting.
Breaking news, this just handed down moments ago from the Virginia State Supreme Court.
This has gone nuclear.
Democrats were bragging that they turned the tables on Republicans.
Taking our voting rights away.
Yeah, how about that?
How about that?
You know, you get caught in a moment.
Passes 1,005
to live on the sidewalk.
Right. Spencer Pratt, who's running for mayor of Los Angeles.
Who's doing a great job.
Unable to laugh at him.
Inside, they started.
it'll be
more access to the leader of the free world.
This week, which was the state of Virginia, they gerrymandered the state.
Redistricting. It's going to lose their congressional representation. How do you think?
Until the First Lady brought them back with her surprise statement last week.
Why are you not looking forward to the White House fight?
Well, it's kind of a gimmick.
I have 300.
Well, I said Democrat.
The polling indicates the likelihood that Democrats will take the House in November. History suggests the likelihood that that'll happen. Are you a little worried that this nutty, out of control gerrymandering actually compromises that possibility?
No, we're going to win back the House of Representatives in November. We are only 3 seats short. We historically overperformed in November, and that's one of the reasons why Republicans are in panic mode. Remember, Ali, when we took the House back in 2018, we were 24 seats short. We crossed over that hurdle, and in fact, in 2018, we flipped a total of 40 seats. So we're going to take back control of the House of Representatives. We're going to continue to make clear to the American people that we will lower their high cost of living, fix a broken health care system, and clean up the corruption that we're seeing in the country, in the Congress, certainly with the Supreme Court, and deal with the most corrupt administration in American history. Now, we're going to need nationwide judicial reform. We're going to need nationwide electoral reform. We're going to need nationwide campaign finance reform, which is why we have to take the House back, take the Senate back, keep pressing forward, and then in 2028, take the presidency back as well.